C and PO. As spring came on, a new set of amusement became the fashion, and the lengthening days gave long afternoons for work and play of all sorts. The garden had to be put in order, and each sister had a quarter of the little plot to do what she liked with. Hannah used to say, "I'd know which each of them gardens belonged to, if I seem in chiny. And so she might, for the girls' tastes differed as much as their characters. Meg's had roses and heliotrope, heliotrope, myrtle, and a little orange tree in it. Jo's bed was never alike 2 seasons, for she was always trying experiments. This year it was to be a plantation of sunflowers, the seeds of which cheerful and aspiring plant were to feed Aunt Cockle Top and her family of chicks. Beth had old-fashioned fragrant flowers in her garden, sweet peas and mignonant, larkspur, pinks, pansies, and southernwood. Southernwood. Okay, these, I don't know what is these. With chickweed for the bed, and catnip for the puces. What is this? Puces. Puses. Amy had a bower in hers, rather small and wiggy, but very pretty to look at, with honeysuckles and morning glories hanging their coloured horns and bells in graceful wreaths all over it, tall white lilies, delicate ferns, and as many brilliant, picturesque plants as would consent to blossom there. Gardening walks, rows on the river, and flower hunts employed the fine days, and for rainy ones they had house diversions, some old, some new, all more or less original. One of these was the PC, for as secret societies were the fashion, it was thought proper to have one, and as all of the girls admired Dickens, they called themselves the Pickwick Club. With a few interruptions, they had kept this up for a year, and met every Saturday evening in the big garret, on which occasions the ceremonies were all as follows. 3 chairs were arranged in a row before a table, on which was a lamp, also 4 white badges, with a bag PC in different colours on each, and the weekly newspaper called the Pickwick Portfolio, to which all contributed something, with Jo, who revelled in pens and ink, was the editor. At 7 o'clock, the 4 members ascended to the club room, tied their badges around their heads, and took their seats with great solemnity, I don't know. Meg, as the eldest, was Samuel Pickwick, Jo being of literary turn, August's son Snodgrass, Beth because she was round and rosy, Tracy Tubman, and Amy, who was always trying to do what she couldn't, was Nathaniel Winkle Pickwick. The president read the paper, which was filled with original tales, poetry, local news, funny advertisements and hints in which they good naturally reminded each other of their faults and shortcomings. On one occasion, Mr. Pickwick put on a pair of spectacles without any glasses, wrapped upon the table, hemmed, and having stared hard at Mr. Snodgrass, who was tilting back in his chair, till he arranged himself properly, began to read. The Pickwick Portfolio, May 2918. Poets' Corner. Anniversary Ode. Again we meet to celebrate with badges and solemn rite. Our 52nd anniversary in Pickwick Hall tonight. We all are here in perfect health, none gone from our small band. Again we see each well-known face and press each friendly hand. Our Pickwick always at his post, with reference we grate, as spectacles on nose he reads our well-filled weekly sheet. Although he suffers from a cold, we joy to hear him speak. For words of wisdom from him fall, in spite of croak or squeak. Old 6-foot Snodgrass looms on high, with elephantine grace, and beams upon the company with brown and jovial face. Poetic fire lights up his eye. He struggles against his lot. Behold, ambition on his brow, and on his nose a plot. Next our peaceful man comes, so rosy, plump, and sweet, who chokes with laughter at the buns and tumbles of his seat. Prime little winkle to his hair, with every hair in place, model of property, though he hates to wash his face. The year is gone, we still unite, to joke and laugh and read, and tread the path of literature that doth to glory lead. Long may our paper proposer well, our club unbroken be, and coming years the blessings pour on the useful glad PC. Snodgrass. Okay, Snodgrass. The Masked Marriage. A Tale of Venice. Is this one? No one. Gondola after gondola swept up to the marble steps and left its lovely load to swell the brilliant throng that filled the stately halls of Count d'Adelon. Knights and ladies, elves and pages, monks and flower girls, all mingled jovially in the dance. Sweet voices and rich melody filled the air, and so with mirth and music the masquerade went on. "Has your Highness seen the Lady Viola tonight?" asked a gallant troubadour of the Fairy Queen, who floated down the hall upon his arm. "Yes, is she not lovely, though so sad? Her dress is well chosen, too, for in a week she weds Count Antonio, whom she patiently hates. By my faith, I envy him. Yonder he comes, arrayed like a bridegroom. Expect the black mask. When that is off, we shall see how he regards the fair maid, whose heart they cannot win, though her stern father bestows her hand," returned the Drobdoll. Tess whispered that she loves the young English artist who haunts her steps and is spurned by the old Count, said the lady as they joined the dance. The revel was at its height when a priest appeared, and withdrawing the young pair to a cloth hung with purple velvet, he motioned them to kneel. Instant silence fell on the throng, and not a sound but the dash of fountains or the rustle of orange groves sleeping in the moonlight broke the hush as Count d'Adelon spoke thus. My lords and ladies, pardon the ruse by which I have gathered you here to witness the marriage of my daughter. Father, we wait your services. All eyes turned toward the bridal party, and a murmur of amazement went through the throng, for neither bride nor groom removed their masks. Curiosity and wonder possessed all hearts, but respect restrained all tongues till the holy rite was over. Then the eager spectators gathered round the Count, demanding an explanation. Gladly would I give it if I could, but I only know that it was the whim of my timid Viola, and I yielded to it. Now, my children, let the play end, unmask and receive my blessing. But neither bent the knee, for the young bridegroom replied in a tone that startled all listeners as the mask fell, disclosing the noble face of Ferdinand de Froux, the artist's lover, and leaning on the breast where now flashed the star of an English earl was the lovely Viola, radiant with joy and beauty. My lord, you scornfully bade me claim your daughter when I could boast as high a name and vast a fortune as the Count Antonio. I can do more, for even your ambitious soul cannot refuse the Earl of Durfax and Defair. When he gets his ancient name and boundless wealth in return for the beloved hand of this fair lady, now my wife. The Count stood like one changed to stone, and turning to the bewildered crowd, Ferdinand added, with a smile of triumph, to you, my gallant friends, I can only wish that your wooing may prosper as mine has done, and that you may all win as fair a bridal as I have by this masked marriage. Espiquick. With this PC, like the Tower of Babel, it is full of unruly members. The history of squash. Once upon a time, a farmer planted a little seed in his garden, and after a while it sprouted and became a vine and bore many squashes. One day in October, when they were ripe, he picked one and took it to market. A grocer man bought and put it in his shop. That same morning, a little girl in a brown hat and blue dress, with a round face and snub nose, went and bought it for her mother. She lugged it home, cut it up, and boiled it in the big pot, mashed some of it with salt and butter, for dinner, and to the rest she added a pint of milk, 2 eggs, 4 spoons of sugar, nutmeg, and some crackers. Put it in a deep dish and baked it till it was brown and nice, and next day it was eaten by a family named March. T. Tubman. Mr. Pickwick, sir, I address you upon the subject of sin. That sinner I mean is a man named Winkle, who makes trouble in his club by laughing, and sometimes won't write his piece in this fine paper. I hope you will pardon his badness and let him send a French fable, because he can't write out of his head, as he has so many lessons to do and no brains in future. I will try to take time by the fetlock and prepare some work which will be a all-comey lawful. That means all right. I am in haste, as it is nearly school time.